A new study from the Smithsonian Science Education Center and Gallup found that U.S. educators believe teaching topics like climate action, clean energy, and clean water is important. However, the study also found that American teachers are far behind their global peers in the support they have to teach these topics. Here to dive deeper into the study with us is Dr. Carol O'Donnell. She's the executive director at the Smithsonian Science Education Center. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, well, tell us a little bit about what's going on at the Smithsonian Science Education Center.
So as you noted, one of the most important things that have happened is that we just recently released this report that we did in collaboration with Gallup. So we surveyed about 2,500 teachers across 5 different countries.
Wow.
The US, Canada, France, India, and Brazil. All in different continents, all very different educational systems. And we're basically trying to find out, what do teachers think about educating youth on sustainable development topics like the ones that you just listed?
Mm-hmm.
And the results were fairly stark. Now, we released the report 2 weeks ago. It's called Educating for Sustainable Development, Perspectives of U.S. and Global Educators. And what we didn't expect were the incredible differences between U.S. teachers and all other teachers when it comes to the support and the barriers that are in front of them to educate students on these important global topics.
Mm-hmm. So what were some of those key findings?
So first of all, we found out that teachers in the U.S., and it was very important for us to elevate teacher voice, to understand what teachers needed. But first of all, teachers in the U.S., especially compared to their global peers, said that they were less likely to have the support, the expertise, and the time to be able to teach these topics that are aligned with Sustainable Development Goals. The second key finding was that when we disaggregated the data, that meant that we gave them 11 different topics, ranging from good health and well-being, innovation, inclusion, all the way to socio-scientific topics like clean energy, clean water, sustainable communities, consumption and production. When we disaggregated it just to look at those science topics, the teachers in the U.S. were much less likely to say that it's in their curriculum. So only 17% of teachers said that it's in their curriculum compared to 60% on average of all the other countries. So something's missing.
Yeah, sounds disappointing.
Yeah, and then the third finding was much more hopeful, which was that teachers in the U.S. are just as likely as their global peers to think that teaching about sustainable development is absolutely crucial. So 81% of teachers in the U.S. and in all other countries said we have to teach our students these topics. They also said that it's important for students. It makes students much more connected to their world. It makes students much more connected to their community, that they feel more personal resilience, and that they also see science as accessible to them.
Right.
And then when we asked them, what things do you want? They said we want instructional resources and we want professional development. So that gets at that first finding, which is they don't have the time, the resources, the support.
Yeah, so what can we do about this? And what is the Smithsonian Science Education Center doing about this?
So I think we're pleased that the results align with what the Smithsonian can provide to teachers. They said we want field experiences, hands-on materials, and they wanted experts. So the Smithsonian developed a project called Smithsonian Science for Global Goals, which are free resources for teachers that help give teachers exactly what they want. Field experiences. The second is access to researchers and research mentors. And then finally, like hands-on investigations, getting out into their community to investigate these complex topics like clean water, clean energy.
So important. There's nothing like experiential learning for kids. And what's on the horizon now for the Smithsonian Science Education Center?
So one thing that we know is that the survey that we did for teachers, the results were very similar to surveys that have been done for youth. But what we're doing is we're hosting what's called the NEST Youth Ambassadors Program. So we're trying to identify young people from across the world to bring them together to talk about these complex topics, like what do you want? But we're also bringing them with others who are in different generations. So creating this intergenerational group of individuals to come together to address sustainable development topics.
Wow, wonderful work, great work for children and for everyone, really. Thank you so much, Dr. O'Donnell.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Sure. To hear more about the Smithsonian Science Education Center and how WUSA-9 is working with the Smithsonian to support students and their teachers throughout the DMV, just go to WUSA9.com/ecochallenge. You can also just scan the QR code right on your screen.